Welcome to the Q Box.
It's like an ad for IBC root beer.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're just advertising IBC root beer.
IBC root beer.
Yes.
Tastes like water.
It's delicioso.
So, welcome to episode 2 of the Kill Box. We're changing up our hosts a little bit this week. We got Tom and we got Zach. Let's go. Zach, you want to talk about who you are and what you do and such?
I'm Zach. I work at a shitty job at Walmart, like a lot of other people. And
3/4 of the people at this table.
I'm King Terminal on the forums. Bald strong. Shave it, Wilpagani. It looks way better. But I play Scorn and Crix. Most of my Crix is painted. None of my Scorn is, and I'm working on getting that shit painted.
Okay. Well, how'd you get into War Machine?
I was at Gen Con in 2009, and I played an Apocalypse game with orcs at Gen Con, and I decided that Warhammer 40k takes way too long to play, and I sat around watching people play Mark 1. And I talked to them a little bit, and then Privateer was having a really cool thing where if you bought a battle box, you got a free Mark 1. It's the second edition of the Mark 1 book, the starter book.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up Menoth first. I still got Menoth, I just don't play them. I've got 5 armies that I don't play.
Oh my god!
It's bad.
Sounds like garbage.
Fucking Italian
Was that
Was that you?
I just bombed him over here.
No, I thought he just got done eating Italian.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
He got done eating Italian. You're the one burning garlic?
Quit talking over each other.
America.
I just bombed him.
That was
it?
pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I picked it up at Gen Con in 2009. I didn't get to play until I started playing last year.
Yeah, because you had your models forever, and then you came here, he's like, I've had these.
I had
They're like
these.
forever, but I've never played a game. Like 3 years.
Yeah. This place had just opened up, and these guys had started playing around here, and I was like, well, finally somebody to play with, because the previous shop didn't play. Nobody played. They would have people in that would say they wanted to play, and I would be on the Facebook. I'd be like, "Hey, I want to play War Machine. I want to learn how to play this game. This game's really fucking cool." But nobody picked it up at all.
Yeah.
And so when this place opened and these guys started playing,
Which this place is the Wyvern still in sunny Asheville, North Carolina.
it's a little cloudy today, but
Beautiful Nashville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
yes.
There we go. There we go.
Voted the happiest city in America at one point in time.
At one point in time.
Then the Matt moved here
1940s.
and they lost their status.
Yeah, why'd you do that?
I'm sorry. I live in
Talking
bumfuck
about that, man.
nowhere.
I don't live in Asheville.
And anyway, Tom, what about you?
I started playing war games when I was, 10-ish, playing Battletech, the Pewter Minis, and then they switched over to the Clicks, and that just ruined the game. So then I switched over to playing Warhammer Fantasy, and then I slowly transitioned to Warhammer 40k, played Blood Angels, loved it. I was really competitive, but there isn't really a competitive scene for Warhammer. So then I randomly heard about War Machine online, started looking into it, and I was looking at Retribution, and I put out a post on Reddit. I was like, hey, anyone in Nashville play? And a week after the store opened up, these guys were like, hey, come out and play. So I showed up with my little bit of models I had and started playing, and haven't looked back.
It was just a random chance I was just scrolling. It was a Reddit post. It's like, where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just like scrolling down. I see Asheville, North Carolina. I'm like, what?
What? 'Cause we were like really looking for players at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just happenstance that I found this group and everything.
And I regret it every day.
Every day. Every day. So Tom went down with us to the team tournament. He wasn't here with us last week when we done the video. He got second at the team tournament. Would you like to talk about it a little bit?
It was fun. I showed up. Everyone else already had a teammate except for me.
I couldn't get off.
So then some random guy I heard talking to the PG. He's like, I don't have a teammate. And I just walked up to him. I was like, I don't have a teammate. So we became teammates. I don't even know his name. I don't think I actually even asked his name.
It's like, I don't care who you are.
He's watching our video. He's like, aww.
But he was a good player. We were playing Retribution. I actually have just gotten out of Retribution and switched over to Protectorate.
Yeah, tell us about what happened.
I feel that Protectorate isn't competitive enough in our current
Retribution.
Retribution. I was just having some issues in our meta with the
Getting
models.
ass whooped.
The models not performing as well as they should. I was playing well. My dice were going well, but the models just couldn't crack armor / whatever.
That is a lot of people's problems with that faction.
Yeah, it's a very, very tough faction to play, and if you make one slight mistake, you lost. I love Retribution, but I'm kind of benching them for a while. So I'm picking up Protector to Men off, because I'm a very competitive player, so I like to be competitive. But for that, I actually brought my models down with Protector and fully intending to play them. And my teammate was like, "Oh, hey, I play Ret," and I was like, "I play Ret. Let's play Ret together." So I played a Kalissa tier list with 2 Maternal Strike Forces and a Phoenix, and I think 1 or 2 solos. And he played I forgot what he played. Sentinels, 2 Mana Cores, and I forgot what his
You just don't know anything about your teammate.
No. But we meshed really well.
He's a guy and he had things and we killed things.
But it went really well. Like every game we played,
yeah.
Like we meshed pretty well immediately. It was just a lot of fun, especially for someone that I've never met before in my life. So that was really fun.
Really cool. Yeah. So let's get into our first topic today, which is going to be how not to be a dick. Is going to be our topic today. Basically, how to play a very competitive game with your opponent, but to just don't be a dick to each other.
Keep it enjoyable.
Keep it enjoyable. Keep it competitive, but don't space that line between being a total douchebag to your opponent. I believe we've all had issues with that in the past. And
Try not to club seals.
We've all flipped shit on our opponent at one time or another. I'm sure we have.
That's match when I was up against your Chaosies in that fucking. It was like, oh, here's a road and then a billion walls. It's like, I can't get any of my war beasts through any of this. Great.
It happens sometimes,
Yeah.
So
the surfing incident.
Yeah, the surfing incident. Fucking surf Nazis must die.
What about you, Tom? What is you talked about earlier. What is a good example of how to be or not to be a dick?
I'm a highly, highly competitive player. I hate to lose, and I have a good grasp of the rules and how the game should be played. But in a friendly game where it's just Tuesday nights and we're all playing, having fun, if someone bumps their model forward an extra couple inches, it really doesn't matter.
Couple inches.
It happens occasionally. It happens occasionally. Like, I'm going to move my 6 inches. But in tournaments is when I get a little bit more of a stickler for the rules. And it's hard for me because I tend to be a non-confrontational person. We were playing the last round of the team tournament down in South Carolina. And one of the guys had forgotten to allocate focus to his jack. And it was the only jack he had. And his teammate had started activating models, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot to allocate focus," and tossed 3 focus on a galleon. And I was like, "Well, I don't want to be a dick, but this is the finals. We're playing for first place. You didn't allocate focus." And he was like, "You're right," and he pulled it off.
Yeah. Well, that's a good example of both you and him.
Yeah.
If he was being a total douchebag about it, he'd be like blah 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 blah. And
that's when you call judge.
That's when you call a judge. But sometimes, it happens that way. It's a weird
I think
thing.
the key to it is to be non-confrontational.
Yeah,
you don't say, "Hey, you fucked up." You say, "Hey, you might need to look at this from this way."
Yeah.
One thing for me is dice cocks. Just cocked dice.
It's different. It's different wherever you are.
It's so different.
The only time I ever rolled cocked dice is when somebody goes, "That dice is cocked, re-roll it." I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I always take it where it rolls, unless it's like, freaking right on the edge.
Yeah.
I had one actually completely balanced on the
I've seen that
It happened to me once. It was amazing. I
That
didn't want to
happens
touch
to my iron die all the time. It's like
It's part of a game.
Yeah, it's part of a game. Yeah. So if you like,
I roll 12.
an iron die, if
that's
it gets
a crit.
cocked like that, it's a crit. So you're like, oh. But I was reading on the PP forums. They had a large forum post on just cocked dice. Like, what do you do? And one guy, he was like rolling some dice, and one of his dice flew off the table. And his opponent was like, "Hey, you re-roll those dice." So he like picked up the dice off the floor and re-rolled the die. He's like, "No, you need to re-roll both of them." Like, what? Like, no. Who does that?
That's a dick move.
No, that die is out of bounds. You need to re-roll it. You know, the die that's already on the table is clearly in bounds. It needs to be rolled. But that you kind of have to get with your opponent and be like, hey, how do you want to do cock dice? Do you want to leave them as they are? Do you want to do the stupid dice balancing method? Which
that's what we do. Why is it stupid?
Sometimes
I like that. If you can put a die on it and it rests on it, it's not cocked.
Yeah, it depends
if it slides, it's cocked.
Depends on what kind of environment. If you're playing Death Clock,
that's no.
Well, you can eyeball it. If it's sitting like that, that's a cocked die.
You can eyeball it, but you really need to get with your opponent and be like, hey, what do you want to do about cocked dice? Just before you even start timers. Some opponents are like, oh. Then you need to take initiative and be like, well, this is how we're going to play.
That's right. Like if it's cocked, reroll it.
Yeah.
Just straight up. Or if it's cocked and it's readable and not like a half and half thing, don't bother. Like I get people who are like, reroll that cocked die when it's just sitting on like one of the
one of the forest templates.
It's like it's off the ground this fucking much. It's not fucking cocked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tend to give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I also throw your dice away from your models.
Yeah,
like over here.
I do this. I do the backwards roll because it doesn't send them out like whoosh, out crazy. But
This
also
guy.
that
He rolls flying.
Bam! He's in Vegas shooting craps. He's like, why did I hit your caster with my
Oh, did I bump your caster somewhere he shouldn't be? I'm sorry.
Is it?
measure your kill box.
Is it a douchebag move to like if you throw down a die, and then it's like a 1, and you throw the other one and hit it and make it a 6?
That's cheating.
I think that's cheating.
I've known people do that.
Well,
then you
not
say,
good.
okay, you stop doing that, or I'm not going to play with you.
Yeah.
You roll both dice at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
I mean, I think it's okay to roll a die and then be like, okay, well, that's clearly 1, and be like, okay, that's like a 4. Let's add them together. You know.
I mean, why?
Yeah, you're just wasting time.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people do that. Some people have these weird
Well, then some
habits.
people can lose at Death Clock.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We talked about this last week too. Is like talking on your opponent's turn during Death Clock. I mean, is that a dick move? Is
It's a
it a dick
legitimate
move?
strategy.
I try not to. I try when they're moving stuff in Death Clock because it is such fast paced. I try to see where they're moving it so I can think of where I need to be moving my stuff next turn. So I'm not in a rush next turn.
Right.
So I've got more time to think about it. I don't necessarily have to talk to my opponent to annoy them.
Yeah. I think a good rule of thumb is not to ask the same question over and over and over. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes like 3 or 4 times. Just so I can remember myself, like especially if I've not played against something before. Sometimes I don't know the mat and rat of everything, so it's difficult to try to get all those numbers in your head. But sometimes you can look at the model and kind of tell. Sometimes.
Yeah. Like I frequently have to ask defense and armor, and for me, I say defense and armor, and with our meta we say 12-13. It's just normal. But some people are like. It's like, come on, it's taking you 15 seconds
Then
to
you
answer
go
this question.
and you pop it right back to them. You don't pause it. Give it to them. Let them deal. They're looking on their cards on their own time. But is that a dick move? Some would say yes. I would say no. If
you're in a tournament, you should probably know what it is, or at least
you
keep
should
your
know
cards
your own
out.
stuff.
I know.
Know your own stuff.
Yeah, I always know.
I mean, I don't
stuff.
necessarily know the mat and rat of everything I own because I own a lot of miniatures.
Yeah, but know, let's say you're playing a faction for a month. You should know your faction.
Well, you should know, like, if you've been playing the same stuff, you should know that. Like, I know my defense armor on Tartarus is the same as my defense armor on all my Slayer jacks.
Yeah.
Like, all the Slayer chassis, it's, 13, 17.
I play Kador. Our guns are either 4s or 5s or 7s. That's our 3.
Defense armor is 10-20.
10-20s. Let's put in Black Ops and then it's 12.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's a ninja.
Yeah. Get him with a rust. Get him rust, throw some superiority on him. Instantly comes a 14. 14-20, not that bad.
He hit Morgul under Kreia Animus, straight up, during that Gargantuan's event.
Oh.
I was like, this is not good.
No, it's
And
not.
then I stuck a bronze back in his face. I killed the Jack, and then I killed, what's his name? The guy with the big club.
Oh, Harkovich?
Yeah, it was him and Harkovich. And I was like, you're not going to shoot my caster again. I'm going to kill everything. It's like, and just crane this guy over here, and...
The crane was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Back on the is it a dick move subject, playing a cheese list that you know is just an absolute fucking broken list to a tournament.
Joe. These shredders.
That's...
Shredders for days.
That is not nearly as ballistic
That's
as
cheesy.
Easy Alien
That's
Stormwall, and
cheesy.
you fucking know it.
And Simon's double galleon
I
list.
can't talk about that because I played Crix, and I've got Epic Asphyxius, and that's what I'm taking to the tournament. I'm taking Epic Asphyxius.
And don't lie, you love
I
it.
don't mind cheese lists, but you kind of have to know the... I think what we're talking about with a cheese list is an incredibly skew cheese list.
Yeah.
There are a few out there that are skew lists, but that's one of the best ways to play the caster. Say like E Butcher. I mean, his skew list is like Doom Reaver spam. But
God,
that is
scary.
one of the best ways to play that caster. And
Yeah.
to be honest, it's kind of one of the only
Shit
ways to
them
play
until
that
they get
caster.
across the table.
Yeah. But
42.
let's take the Vanguard list. That
Oh.
you know what I mean? Like that list is skewed to hell and back.
That's hilarious.
It's a fun list though, you know. I don't know, what other kind of dick moves do you see sometimes? Just arguments in general, like just hardcore like rules arguments. I can see a
It's
lot.
usually, it comes down to, like, if somebody moves something and they go through an obstruction
Yeah,
or
like
something,
clip it.
if they clip their other models, a lot of
when they
Warhammer players
pick
you
their
know,
stuff up and move it.
That's a
like
bad
that.
habit of mine.
Yeah.
When they pick it
from
up
playing
over
Warhammer.
stuff,
Yeah,
it's just
when he
like
first started, I remember it was.
it's,
Yeah, let's talk about like the picking, like actually picking your model up and then placing it. You know
because
what I'm
it's
talking about?
really
Like-
annoying because a lot of times it's like, well, you don't have movement through there. You're gonna have to go this and this way to get there. You're not gonna just be like, boop.
Like the bending and stuff like that. I saw
Oh, you're
that a
not
lot
supposed to
down
bend.
down
Yeah,
there.
you're not supposed to
And I was
bend.
like, "Hey man, don't bend," and he's like, "Huh?"
you're not
Like,
supposed
no,
to-
don't bend it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to bend at all.
You see it on a lot of bat reps and stuff. On
Yeah,
YouTube, too.
yeah, you do. You do.
Bat reps on YouTube.
Yeah, I'd say as a
We're
drive
gonna
me
have
crazy.
some bat reps, and hopefully ours will be good. So,
They drive me crazy. It's like, oh, you made so many mistakes. Stop it, please.
but yeah, and the what you guys were saying about moving models through models that shouldn't be able to move.
Yeah.
You know, it.
Also, when people don't measure from the front
Yeah.
when they're moving, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Like, I'm
drives
measuring
me
from his
insane.
head.
I'm like,
into
just
his
stop
head.
it, stop it.
I can
moving
understand
like
like I think it's Lawrence that does that for his jacks because he takes it because it's hard when you have those gigantic
That's true.
Kidorn arms
Yeah.
to have the tape measure and get it perfect. So what he does, he puts it on the head and then
He
just
puts it
slides
on the head on that
until it
like
touches
bar
the little
that's on the top
head.
of all their heads. He puts it there.
Then, so it's a consistent way of measuring the model every time. What
I
what
could see
drives me
that.
nuts is when you have your model and you measure from the back edge or the front edge to the back edge when you're measuring.
Oh
It
yeah,
gives you an
yeah,
extra inch
yeah.
of
Where
movement.
they they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna measure this out, and he's now an inch and a half above
Yeah.
where he should be, especially if it's a large jack. Then
Yeah, for me,
if
it's
you
still
see
small.
Gatorade, if
Just
you-
like, nah, Stormwall.
Stormwall, hey, Stormwall didn't move
10
5
inches. What are you doing?
You're not playing any Haley.
That's like doing some 40K stuff.
Yeah,
You move your
it's-
vehicle forward, then rotate it because you can rotate on the
That's-
axis.
That's crazy.
But it's for me, it's be consistent with how you measure every time.
Yeah.
Like I always measure from the front of my base to the front of my base.
Yeah.
Just because that gives you a little nib at the end of the tape measure to stop at.
Yeah.
But some people
You
find
can
it easier
put
to
your
measure
finger
from the
there
back.
and just
You
be
know,
like,
and then measure
I've
from the
been
back.
getting to the habit of laying my tape measure on the ground, on just the table itself, and measuring that way instead of doing the hover method.
I
Yeah.
got too much dude swarm to do that.
Well, I play Dude Swarm too, but like if this measurement is completely like a game breaking kind of measurement, I'll usually do it from the ground. Even if you have to put it off to the side, you can look. You
Yeah.
know.
Or at least anchor your hand down because
Yeah, do this. Do
I'm
the
sure
whole,
it's-
do the arm, and hold it right there. Because if you don't, you're hovering, and you don't know you're hovering. You know,
And
you
it's
don't know.
Or at
Just for
least
some
give
people-
yourself
Give
a
yourself
second
a
hand
prop.
brace.
some people's a subconscious thing too. They they move their other hand while they're measuring forward. So they're just moving forward, and so then
Yeah.
they get that extra bit of movement with it too. So
True.
just
That's why it's a
anchor
really
yourself.
good idea to just stick your finger at the end of the tape and then move.
Yeah, let your opponent help you sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I also have a question. What about from my 40K days? You move your first guy and your last guy, move everything in between. Like that's just a habit from playing 40K when you have a lot of models to move, especially playing like someone that plays orcs. You have 60 boys you have to move. So how does that
play
transfer?
orcs?
to the
I just
machine?
picked them up in a heap and moved them.
Yeah, just drop them on the
But
table.
placement is way more important in this game than it is there.
That's true.
Because you're pulling from the back, you know.
Yeah.
In this game, you don't pull from the back. Having one model placed in one particular place can prevent a charge link, prevent a slam.
Yep.
You know, you place your models in this game very strategically for a purpose. That's why you don't just, you know, it's you want to get that little toe in the forest. You want to get that toe on that hill. You know. What do you guys think about towing in sometimes? It's completely okay in the rules, except for hills. There's like there's an iffy in there if you read the hills.
Well, a lot of
What?
Like, for being on a hill, technically a hill is always going to be like 1 inch above.
Yeah.
So technically you shouldn't be able to tow in because your model can't sit on that 1 inch.
Yes, he's not actually an inch high.
Because it's actually not an inch high. But,
Makes sense.
but, you know, we always tow into hills. And I think that's completely fine.
yeah.
It's just, it doesn't say completely within on the rules anywhere. But if you look at like the dynamics of like a 3D terrain, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be able to do that.
No, because true elevation, I mean, that would
Yeah.
be elevated above the other
Yeah.
models. So
Because,
unless you're elevated, you don't have elevation.
You shouldn't have elevation. There's another thread that I was reading on that. It's
Well-
pretty interesting.
That really depends on what you consider part of the hill. I mean,
Yeah.
I consider the very edge of the hill the part of the hill. I mean, what I think they're thinking is if you cut out a hill and don't round the edges off at all, that's the hill.
Yeah.
So
I
if
see
you
that.
toe
Okay.
onto that edge, you're still towing onto it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it wasn't tapered,
Mhm.
you'd still be towing onto it.
Yeah.
You just kind of like
I'd
sideways.
be like, hey, yeah. It's an interesting thing. I was also reading a thread about this cheating in games. Just this cheating, you know.
Just flat
That's,
out.
of course, you know, cheating's just an all-around dick move. What if you accidentally cheat? You know.
Oh, I got that. We were
You can mix
playing.
up rules and stuff.
Yeah.
We were playing the Menoth guys, and they took it very well. None of us were very familiar with water, and so the two mana cores were throwing all their jacks into water, and we ended up knocking down every single one of their Menoth jacks in water except for the Avatar. And so we asked for a ruling on it. He said it has to be the caster that reactivates it.
But that was the ruling from the TO.
Yeah. Which, after we went back and looked it back up, but then the game state had changed, and they had just been laying there as pieces. And
Isn't it any model?
It's
Any
any
yeah,
warrior
it's any,
model.
any warrior
Yeah.
model can come up and reactivate it.
Mhm.
Basically, just gotta turn the key on the back or whatever.
Yeah. You have
Um,
to, oh no.
Kick it. Just
Yeah.
like, hey,
Get up.
Get some billows.
But you know, I've dealt with that even from my Magic days. You know, if a judge walks up to a game and says, "This is how it is," well, that's how it is. Even if the judge is completely wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, well, our Chaosi done the same thing. You know,
Yeah, they were questioning.
they were questioning the
Kandori art
Chaosi.
note,
The
which you
Kandori
know
art note.
I can understand.
I
that.
can
It's-
completely
it
understand.
feels
It's just
cheap,
like-
It
but
does.
it's within the rules.
It is. It's a bendy kind of rule. It's completely within the rules, but it's how it is. You know.
I'm still a little confused on when you mini feet turn with them,
Yeah.
and it has to move the unit that you keep back as your little arc node. It has to move towards.
Well, also the
Limit
mini
box,
feet
right?
says at any time. So couldn't you charge that one and then pop your mini feet, or can you pop your mini feet before you have to move? It says at any time during this unit's activation.
Yeah, I guess
Don't
if you,
charge rules. Don't you have to make? No, you don't actually, because you can cast spells and then make your attack.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can probably
There's
pop your
a-
mini feet after the charge.
After the first one.
yeah,
charged.
before you do your attacks, you can probably.
It'll be kind of interesting.
As long as it's not like a failed charge
Well,
or a run,
yeah.
which is the problem, because it's coming off of your UA,
Mhm.
which is why I always pop feet and then do that, because my UA is pretty much never going to get into combat until I'm down to like maybe a handful of people off my Citrixis.
Yeah, but if you did pop your mini feet, he would have
He
to
would
do a run
technically,
charge.
he can move. Yeah, he could run
He
over
runs.
there.
But you also don't have to run him.
Yeah, you don't
any
have to.
number.
Yeah.
You can run him 0. He still runs.
Yeah.
He runs 0. it's the Kadorian Arc Node is one of the cheesiest things in the game, but you know it's how we rotate through upkeeps on some of our casters.
Keeps your squishy casters from getting shot to death.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Anything else you guys want to talk about being dicks?
Well, no, not
what
necessarily.
about
Just remember to have fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
remember,
It's about
that's
fun,
the
yeah.
most important thing.
And if someone's screwing up really bad in like a casual game, it's
Just talk
okay.
to them.
It's okay to let them slide, but be sure to tell them why it's wrong.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh well, you can't do that, but I'll let it slide for now because this is just we're not in a tournament or anything.
Yeah.
Well,
But just for future reference, you have to do this or you have to do that.
But you know, you always catch more bees with honey too.
Yeah.
Be really nice. You know?
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, well, fuck this. This is
Yeah, you don't,
bullshit.
especially in casual games. If you act
Yeah.
like that, you don't fucking belong playing this game.
Yeah.
If you act like a shit playing just some random person and you're acting like an asshole, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's true. And what was you gonna say?
It was during our Journeyman League. He and I were playing a game, and I accidentally cast, used 8 focus on Ron instead of the 6 he
That
had.
whole game was a huge clusterfuck.
Yeah,
Us
like we
making
were just like, I have no
fucking
idea what I'm
stuff
doing.
up.
War Machine, woo!
It took me 2 days to figure out stuff. Like, he slammed P. Gorshade into his own back arc. Or he slammed him over there, and then he mittens pulled him into his own back arc. And I forgot about the back arc bonus. So when I stood up and he didn't kill me off that assassination run, which he messed up because he spent 8 focus off of Ron. He
It
cast.
was awesome though, because
Yeah,
the
it
little
was-
mittens made this L, and they took turns just pulling him in one at a time. They just moved him in this little L shape, and the caster was at the end of it, just like, what's up?
And then I
These are my mittens.
then I missed like every other attack on him.
Yeah.
And I couldn't kill Ron, and I was like, oh! And then he just got creamed the next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I know, like, 'cause I was keeping track in my head of how much focus I was casting, so now I always use my little counters.
You gotta use them. Yeah.
So-
Another thing I really like too, put tokens on the field.
Yeah, I have
Show
to because I will
people.
forget my own upkeep.
Yeah.
Show people. you
I'll
know?
flat out forget stuff.
You know.
Yeah, I'm always worried, because it'd be so easy for somebody to cheat that way if they're not
Like,
showing. physically showing you.
I cast Battle
Like,
Lust.
no, that was only my
Yeah.
Second Fury I put on there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
I think those are required though. You have to have
well,
something that
it is
counts Fury, but
it's-
not necessarily the upkeeps.
I mean, me as a press ganger, if I walk into a game and be like, "Hey, does that have Shatterstorm on it or Iron Flesh?" And I looked on there and I was like, "Oh, no token, so nothing." You know, it's
Even just an
way.
unmarked token.
Same way with Magic. If I walked up to a table and somebody's life counter said 1, and they didn't reset it through they just had it sitting at 1. Like, hey, what's that guy's life total? 1.
Poison.
And he would have been like,
no, that doesn't work. Poison.
Yeah, that's right, poison's 10.
and he would have been like, "No, man, I was at like 15." I'm like, "Well,
Well, why are you not keeping up?
why are
with
you
your
not
life?
keeping up with your life total?" You know, I mean, it's kind of you gotta do that. So I think this segment's a little dead now.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
We've beat enough of a dead horse.
Let's move on to our next segment. I kind of want to talk about like battle boxes. You know, I mean, 70%, well, probably over 70% of newer players that get into this game are going to buy a battle box.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily the best way to get into your faction, but
It is.
yeah, a Kador
3 arc nodes and a terrible
Crix is,
regular
I mean, the
chance.
Kador
Kador one's-
battle box is pretty.
it's all right.
It's,
We just
So-
battle box that rests my case.
So let's talk a little bit about battle boxes and the first few purchases that you want to buy. I guess I'll start. I'll start with my Kador. Kador battle box comes with P. Sorsha, a Destroyer, and a Juggernaut. Those 3 models by themselves in a battle box v battle box game gives you a good pop and drop scenario to kill their caster with Sorsha. It's just an assassination type battle box. If you want to play P. Sorsha, which she's not a terrible caster, she's just very finessey, I would probably suggest the Winter Guard Death Star as your first purchase. I mean, full set of Winter Guard plus the 3 Rocketeers come in a plastic kit now for $50. That's a great deal. And then you can pick up the UA and Joseph, and that will put you at the 24 point range. That'll get you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Gives you 13 points. Yeah, that's 24 points. I mean, the Winter Guard Death Star is probably our go-to unit in Khador. They can take out heavies. If you run infantry into Sorsha, she'll pop feet on them. She'll spray them all down. Your Winter Guard will spray them all down. Even if they do run into you, if they're not close enough, she can wind rush up, or she can walk up, freeze and grip them, wind rush back.
It's just super nice.
It is a awesome spell. So you don't even have, you can just feat on a unit every single turn if you wanted to, and I mean that's a good way to play Sorsha. She's just a solid little caster. I mean, don't expect anything amazing out of her because she's not our best caster. But for a starter, it will let you learn those hit and run techniques, which is odd for Khador, but you can do it. What about you, Tom?
Well, where once you so you have the battle box, where do you go from there?
I said full Winter Guard Death Star. So
Pretty fun, well, you'd know.
so the plastic kit Death
How many
Star,
points is that?
that would be 24.
Just
If you put your phone away.
Yeah.
God dang it!
Look, man, I did both these 25-point lists before we started
Yeah.
this shit.
So plastic kit Winter Guard Death Star, which is the Winter Guard infantry. You should get 10 models. You should get 13 models in the box, 10 normal ones, and 3 Rocketeers. The UA, which will be a metal one, and then Joseph, Hovnik, Joe, Grigorovich, to make them all fearless and happy and tough and
Fearless and happy.
yeah. That's how our Winter Guard want to be. It's fearless and happy, and at defense 14 all the time.
Or how I want Winter Guard to be is Battle Thralled all over.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. I shoot some of them. Boo.
Judy.
Yeah, that's
Judy
kind
Gator.
of.
Judy.
Hey, we're talking battle boxes here. Go ahead, Tom.
Only. I'm just going to do Retribution of, just I don't know Protectorate as well.
Okay.
I don't actually even know what's in the battle box for Protectorate.
Well, there's
I don't.
2. Well, there's
Oh.
2. Yeah.
There's 2 now?
So then even more so, I don't know
The
what's
new
going
turning
on.
to North, yeah.
Well, that makes 3.
In the new plastic, they actually have a box now for Retribution. They've resculpted Kalissa, and she
Which
looks
is
awesome.
amazing.
She looks great. She doesn't look retarded anymore.
No.
You get a Manicore, a Griffin, and a Gorgon, I believe.
Yeah.
Gorgon is an awesome light jack. He moves up, they can't move away until they destroy it, or he moves away. Like, he is hands down my favorite light jack. Griffin has a powerful charge and a shield, so it has a much higher armor than what's on paper. And I believe it's give it a focus, and it can get an extra d6 inches of movement or some sort of movement shenanigans. Then your Manicore, of course, is just a powerhouse. 1 focus plus 3 strength, and then he can do a combo smite or just 4 attacks. So he can wreck pretty much any light to heavy war beast on the table or warjack. And then moving up from there, you'd want to add, I'd say probably Mage Hunter Strike
You want
Force.
to do the strike force?
They're the
There's
staple.
There's a couple of ways you can do it.
You can toss some halberdiers in there. Dunk riflemen.
I like Invictors.
Invictors are amazing. They do work, and they do a little bit more work than the Mage Hunters in melee. Plus, their mini feat, they snipe themselves.
Yeah.
And they reroll misses. They're awesome. Mage Hunter Strike Force, however, can kill a caster on turn 2, turn 3 without snipe on them.
It's true.
Plus,
It's
with Kalissa really likes Mage Hunter Strike Force because they get the extra d6 versus Warjacks, and so then she puts the backlash on the Warjack, and then you're getting basically 10 points of damage on a caster because
Yeah.
it's just free damage you're putting on, and you're wrecking their Warjack.
There's a lot of talk about the Mage Hunter Strike Force, and honestly, for me, I honestly think that you shouldn't use the Mage Hunter Strike Force just for caster kill. I think that they should be used to clear out infantry.
I like them.
Warjacks.
Yeah.
Hard.
I like them for wrecking light Warjacks turn 2
Really
because they
heavy-
usually. Usually light warjacks.
I play
especially-
Cricks, so my
Your
heavies are
heavies
lights.
disappear.
I know especially Cricks does this. They run their light jacks forward because they're arc nodes.
Yeah.
And so Mage Hunter Strike Force says, well, there's a scrap pile there and a scrap pile over there now. So
Yeah.
they're really good at. You just have to target prioritize. You say, what's the biggest threat to me this turn? You take it out. And caster kill is always on the back of your mind, but I just use them for hunting jacks, and if I'm playing a Hordes player, then they're for hunting out infantry.
What about
Infantry can't hide.
what about just a Mage Hunter? He's a what, 2-point solo?
Mage Hunter Assassin.
Yeah.
They only have, I
Are
mean,
they 3?
Gotta be
they're 2 points.
They're 2
Are they
points.
really?
Wow.
Yeah, because Narn and Eris are 3 points.
That's true.
They're cool.
Fucking Narn.
2 Mage Hunter Assassins does great as far as playing the mental game because they have Decapitate, Chain Weapon, and on their activation they have a 4-inch melee range, so they effectively have, let me see, 7, 10, 14-inch threat range. And they advance deploy. So they can start reaching out and hitting stuff very, very quickly. Plus they're stealth and they have decent defense. No armor. But that's not what they're there for. They're a missile. You send them up, and what I like to do with them, deploy them on each flank, run them for 2 turns, and then they sweep around behind their caster, and then people just say, shit. They are going to
turn something around.
most of
I've
the
had
time
to
they
do
don't
that
do
before.
anything,
Yeah.
because they only have 1 shot. That you can't buff them, you can't do anything like that. So against a decent defense caster, they're going to usually miss. But if they happen to hit on the charge, it's 46 with Decapitate. It's going to kill a caster.
It's crazy. So what would you recommend?
For the up 25 points, I would do the Battle Box Mage Hunter Strike Force with UA for 10 points. So that would put you at 11, 21, 2 Mage Hunter Assassins,
That'll put you at 25.
25. Or you could drop 1 or both, do Narn and a Mechanic too, because the Mechanic can give a free focus.
Oh, he's really good.
And you can do Power Booster for the Mana Core, so now that Mana Core's hitting at Power Strength 25, I believe.
That's true.
Good God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's all about little synergies, and I really highly recommend anyone who wants to play Retribution just play an ass ton of Battle Box games.
Yeah, to
'Cause it
learn that
sucks.
faction.
It sucks horribly, but that's what made me a good player was the Journeyman League, playing the Battle Box for 4 weeks, 7, 8 games a week.
We played so many games.
We played a lot of
We'd
games.
come from chemistry and it was just like, more games.
I filled up 2 sheet reports.
Yeah.
And that's
And the only
that's
reason
what
I
you
was
have to
even
do.
close is because I painted, like,
Everything.
100 points worth of stuff.
It was pretty silly. Okay, Matt, what do you think?
For Circle?
You gonna go with Circle? Or you gonna go with Piggies?
No, I'll
Go
go
with the Piggies.
I'll go with Circle
Go with
first.
the
at
Piggies.
least. Circle Battle Box is Pikaya with an Argus, a Winter Argus, and a Feral. Used to be 2 regular
It's
Argus.
still 2 regular artists.
Well, the 2-player battle
The
box.
2-player battle box, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it depends.
eh,
I honestly, let's
They're
go
the
and say
same
this:
points, though, aren't
the
they?
2-player battle box one is better.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Winter Argus is much better.
Oh,
than
yeah.
the
It's
regular
funny
What
because
is
like
the
6
Winter
months
Argus
ago,
do?
people were
It's
shitting all
got
over
it's
the
got a
Winter
spray
Argus.
Good.
attack with critical freeze.
We loved it right when it
6,
came out.
POW
I thought it was
12.
great.
Got 2 of them.
Spray
Got 2
6.
heads. Yeah.
And crit stationary.
Yeah, crit stationary. So
That's
so
pretty
basically
solid.
you're boosting to hit on both of them.
And it's a
Just
light,
trying to
light war beast.
Yeah.
5 point. It's got a great
Man,
animus.
it's nimble.
Yeah, speed 7, defense 15, just like the other Argus.
And
But
it
How would
shits
you
on
not
my
like
feet.
that?
its animus gives immunity cold and +2 armor, which is great in your caster, especially against Theodore. Well, I'm gonna go with that one because
Yeah.
assuming you're getting the 2-player
Assume-
battle box.
Yeah, I'll go with the Legion one too on my roll around.
Okay. The first thing you want to buy, definitely, in my opinion, is the Shifting Stones and the Stone Keeper to add to that, and that brings you up to 15 points, because you can just Shifting Stones are so good. I mean, so many things you can do with them, and then
They're kind of a staple in any army.
yeah,
Like if you buy them, you're going to use them in like every single list that you make, pretty much.
once you hit 35 points, I usually use 2 units of them for every list. Pretty much.
They're just too good. They do too many things.
Yeah, they have Serenity to get rid of some of the fury on the board during your control phase. They shift things 8 inches. They heal. They do, they're just wonderful.
It's too good.
And the Stone Keeper makes them stealth, and he has a decent little rock hammer attack with a critical knockdown. Then you have 10 points left. Pikaya, Pikaya, she's a beast caster, so generally I'd say a stalker, a Whirlpool stalker.
And which is another thing you're going to use in like every other list.
Yeah. But the problem with that is then you don't have any kind of tar pit other than your Arguses.
That's true.
Which can be dangerous, but I do love stalkers. If you want to go more infantry, I would suggest blood trackers, full blood trackers with Nuala's 10 points. Druids are really good with Kaya because she can oculate them, and you move them up and you pop their clouds, and they're stealth. And
There's all these
you can't
stealthy
see-
clouds, and
Yeah,
that's
you
good.
can't see behind them,
That's
which is
good.
really good. If you go that way, the Druids are 7 points, their UA is 2, so you have 1 point left, which you could use for like a Gallows Grove.
Oh yeah.
Or
They come in 2-packs.
Yeah.
So.
Or I mean, yeah,
Gallows Grove's not that bad with Pekai because you
Cool
can try
model,
to,
too.
yeah,
they're good.
sweet model. You could try for a you could try for like a magic assassination
Yeah,
without her
Spirit
using
Yeah, it's all right. But that is good because on her feet turn, she can cast a lot of spells.
She can try for she could kill a light with that by herself just by spirit fanging it to death
Definitely,
easily.
definitely. The
Is that a
two-player.
model unit?
What?
Is that a model unit debuff or just a model debuff?
What?
Spirit fang.
No, it's a
Model.
the two-player battle box comes with the a full unit of the warp skinwalkers, which they're all right with Kaya. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't use them, but with their UA, that brings them up to 11 points.
Mm-hmm.
So you could run the battle box, the full skinwalkers with UA, and the shifting stones without the UA, and that's all right. You can oculate the skinwalkers, but that kind of takes away because you kind of want them to get damaged, so they get +2 speed.
You kind of do.
Uh,
Well, if they're
They're
stupid and
speed
try to
7.
blast damage them or something like that.
yeah.
I
So
can see that.
I love skinwalkers, but I don't know how good they are with Kaya. I'd go with either stalker, druids,
beasts,
or
yeah, beasts or blood trackers would be the way to go.
Alright,
Zach?
I'm gonna do two different ones. I didn't actually start with the proper Crix battle box. There was an alternate battle box that I started, but I'm gonna be using the proper one. The alternate box is Asphyxious, a Slayer, a Reaper, and a Night Wretch, which is super fun to play because P. Asphyxious is probably my favorite ever. But the starter box that comes in the package is Pita Negra with 2 Death Rippers, a Defiler, and a Slayer.
So many nodes.
So many arc nodes with that caster. It's like, oh, I don't want your stuff to move around much at all, ever. Now it's dead. But a good base off of that, I'm just going to straight up say Citrixus. You get the Citrixus brick and you pull out either a Night Wretch or you pull out, or not a Night Wretch, you pull out either a Death Ripper or you pull out the Slayer and add a Warwitch Siren. And you've got full unit of Citrixus, the Citrixus Solo. These are Raiders, Citrixus Raiders, because they have threat range galore.
Yeah.
In battle box, in low point games with a lot of jacks, they're going to beat the crap out of a caster by proxy. With Denegra, she's just going to be able to parasite something and then they're going to kill it. That's just what happens. Is get the parasite and they're going to kill it. I prefer Asphyxious to run with them because you parasite something and then give them Scything Touch and they're at +5 right there. And when they crit stuff, they critical knockdown. They have 2 attacks, 1 reach, 1 not, and they have a combined melee attack. And with the UA gives them Force Barrier, which is
blast
+2
immunity.
against range attacks and blast immunity, so they don't give 2 shits about blast damage. And then it also gives them a mini feat that gives them an extra dice on damage.
Yeah.
So,
Power swell.
Yeah, Power Swell. So you Power Swell, charge into something, and you annihilate it because you've parasited it beforehand with one of the 3 arc nodes or one of the 2 arc nodes, depending on which you want to switch up.
Switch out.
Besides the Citrixus, their unit attachment, and their solo, I would suggest Pistol Wraith.
Yeah.
Because Pistol Wraith, I don't think I've built a list in the past 3 months without a Pistol Wraith in it.
Yeah.
Because they
Such a
shut
solid
down
piece.
Colossals.
This was
Colossals and
really good.
Gargantuans, they're just like, pew pew, suck it.
Yeah.
So they have to either trudge forward or they sit back and shoot. And Pistol Wraith's pretty high. It's not super high defense, but it's high enough defense to where
Where they have
most
to boost.
Colossals are going to hit you. And, you just slow down big heavy hitters to where you can either scalpel them out or just completely avoid them. And the next thing is, if you pull the Slayer out, then you put in a Warwitch Siren. And a Warwitch Siren's got Power Booster, so you don't have to spend focus to make these things run. And then it's got the Spray, Venom, which is Spray 8, Pow 10, and
Auto Corrosion.
Auto Corrosion, which is super nice against infantry. It's just like, bleh, infantry.
What about Scarlock?
Scarlock's good, but she doesn't have a lot of offensive spells. It's a bunch of debuffs. Scarlock would be better for a buff caster. Like, if you're running the Asphyxious battle box, I would suggest a Scarlock, because you have Asphyxious spend his spells on offensive and debuffs, and then you have the Scarlock come back and cast buffs on your own troops, like Scything Touch or stuff.
So you're going with Stataxis Raiders.
Styxis Raiders, like full units of Styxis
Full
Raiders. Pistol Wraith, Styxis Solo, Styxis Raider attachment. It's the captain
Captain
and then
and
the
the
attachment,
attachment.
which is the Sea Hag? No, it's
The Sea Hags that are tough, right?
no, that's the Blood Hag.
Blood
It's-
Hag, yeah.
It is Sea Witch, the Sea Witch, and you can either pull out one of your Arc Nodes, one of your 4-point Arc Nodes, or you can pull out your Slayer. The Slayer is okay. It is not the best Jack in the game, but it's pretty fast, and with debuffs on enemy stuff, it'll do work.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Let's stop that for our battle boxes, and we'll go over some more next time.
All right,
How about
cool.
we do that? Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Let's go over like what we're working on right now. I am working on his blood trackers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
And
I'm working on Extreme Gutters.
I'm also playing a awesome game called Poker Not 2. And it is amazing.
Yeah.
It's poker. You're just playing poker, but you're playing with Claptrap
Sam
and
Max.
Brock Sampson,
Sam and Max.
and Ash from. That's awesome. And it is hilarious.
Evil Dead Ash?
Evil Dead Ash.
Did you see the new Evil Dead?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you gotta
So
watch it. Watch after the credits.
Okay.
Watch after the credits. Me and a friend went, and I went into the theater, and there were only 2 people in the theater. I look at the people, I go, "You guys ready for some tree rape?" And they looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, they're like tree ring. What?
I was like, "You guys obviously hadn't seen the original."
Oh, but Gladys from Portal is your dealer, and it is hilarious. Every time you fold a hand glass, it's like you're stupid. it just goes away. It's like some form of you're stupid, and this leaves, and it's really good. Like everybody gets in conversations with each other. The best one was like Sam was just sitting there, dealing out cards. No, Sam was sitting there like looking at his cards, and Brock just starts laughing at him, and Sam's like, no, it was Max. Was Max the little buddy?
Yeah.
Okay, Sam. And like Brock just starts laughing at him, and Sam's like, "What are you laughing at?" He's like, I just now noticed you're a dog playing poker." And I was like, "That's hilarious."
I want to be Brock Sampson when I grow
Yeah,
up.
it's so great. Oh, don't bust him out. He's just like, "Break a table flip." He just gets so mad. It's great. What you guys?
I'm painting my druids right now and watching Breaking Bad. I've painted a shit ton this last couple weeks. I'm trying to get all my circle painted up with y'all's help. So that's all I've been doing really.
I'm working on my Kraken. I put the rust wash on it last night. I had to scrub my hands for like 15 minutes to get that stuff off my hands.
I primed up my arm the other day. I was like, I used like a piece of cardboard to prime. I was priming, and I'm just like.
I used to not wear gloves when I primed, so my hands were just black when I primed.
I use a pizza box, and I was just pizza box, and
I hold
I'm
it.
like.
I wear a pair of like the Niral gloves,
Yeah.
and I just hold it and do that. But I'm gonna be getting the that
Right.
huge bottle of Vallejo primer, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna put it in my airbrush and use that.
That's good.
But I've got it disassembled, and I'm gonna be, painting. I'm gonna be finishing painting it, and then I gotta finish painting my Death Jack for the tournament on Saturday.
Yeah, you should mention.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll do an event
Alright.
announcement after this.
But I'm trying to field 2 fully painted armies because I have a superstition that if it is painted, it will roll better.
Yeah. It's a
So
good superstition to have.
Yeah, it just looks better.
yeah, it does.
I have a PSA for all the gamers out there. Scrape off your goddamn mold lines. I've been painting models for people. I'm amazed that people are just like, "Bleh, done. Scrape
Yeah.
the mold lines. It makes the mold
I tried to.
so
Some
much
of them
better.
are hard to get the mold lines off of.
You can use a file, you can use 1000 grit sandpaper, or you can use a scalpel and just scrape
Yeah,
off the
I
blade.
just do this. You just
Yeah, I just take an
Yeah.
X-Acto knife. You can tell
But
when
it-
I've been assembling miniatures when my thumb looks like a piece
I was-
of Swiss cheese.
like 2 weeks ago. I was like, dude, poke. Oh, that hurt. Then I went poke on the other side. That wasn't fun at all. Even like Walmart. Walmart has little needle files now.
They've got.
They're like
they've also
$4.
got
They're super
you
cheap.
know huge packs of X-Acto knives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've
it's
got-
just little
It's like if you
things-
want a case of X-Acto knives, go
They
to
have
Walmart.
a knife set in the hardware thing with like weird rounded blades. I saw those the other day when I was doing like putting freight out.
Yeah.
It's-
It's okay.
Just
Think
little
of
things will
electronics
make
the other
models
day.
look so much better.
Yeah.
Thin your paint, scrape your mold lines,
I like.
and thin your paint again because it's not thin.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
thin my
think
paints enough.
honestly, I
Alright,
think the
here's my-
privateer press stuff is thin enough.
Yeah, probably.
No,
it's still too
You
thick.
still need to put- I
When
put
you
like one
open
drop
up-
in usually.
When you open up your P3 paint, it's always about this far below the upper lip. You'll see the little lip when you pop the thing open, fill it with water until it's level with where it
Really?
tapers.
Oh, so you pre-thin your whole bottle. Then.
I put thin the entire damn bottle. I fill it up until it's level with the bottom where it goes from the nozzle into the actual the
Yeah, like the little lip.
taper, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Fill it up to there because you have like a 1/16 of an inch of gap,
And just-
and that thins it almost perfectly. I mean,
Really?
your
Yeah,
whites you want to fill
I
a
guess
little
you
bit
can
more.
use flow enhancer too if you want to use.
I
that.
use a combination of glaze medium, thinner medium, and water.
Oh, okay.
I have a little premix bottle.
Oh yeah.
If you use glaze medium,
Don't drink
don't
it.
lick it.
Don't lick it. It causes nerve damage.
Yeah, you will
don't
go
do
get
it.
retarded. You'll be like, "Grr, war machine."
You'll be like the Mad Hatter. Just yeah, it makes you insane.
Yeah, I mean your whites you want to thin a little bit more because they tend to get chalky if
They do get chalky. Any kind
if
of
you're kind
any
of
light.
running it. Yeah.
I see a lot of chalkiness come out of arcane blue sometimes if people's using it the wrong way. Get kind of chalky, and necrolite green gets chalky.
I love Necrolite Green. That is the best stuff ever.
It's good.
It makes everything look glowy. It's
Yeah.
great.
Glowy, glowy.
Glowy, glowy. So, anything else you working on besides bitching about people thinning their paints?
Dota.
You dotaing it?
Dota.
Donating it. I just finally broke my losing streak. All the Quakeways. Let's not be racist. All right, next subject.
Oh no! we're from the south.
That's true. We're from the South. We're
Honestly, in
North Carolina.
Dota, it's the Russians.
Is it the
I'm out of that skill bracket, or not in
I'm
that skill
in the
bracket.
macaroni
yet.
trench bracket, man.
I'm in.
I don't know what y'all are talking
I don't
about.
know either. So-
That's 'cause
You know what
are you are
hell
the-
is.
Real men play League.
Oh.
Enjoy your less mechanics.
So you guys want to
Man.
move to the salt bag of the week? You wanna,
Yes,
Alright.
Mike.
okay, why are you?
I'm voting for Mike. We were playing a game last week. Moshar, it was a 75-point game. Moshar versus who was he playing? Doobie maybe? I don't know.
Duty.
Doobie.
duty.
Doobie. Anyway, I
Did
can't
anything
remember
protective
exactly.
fit?
But
Because if it did, that was the
no, it was one of the Madricks, I think, because it was an infantry list.
Mm.
It's
that's
probably
bad.
Epic Magic.
Anyway, he had my blood track. I had my blood trackers on the right. I went first, so I got up there, and he moved his. I prayed on his Tuffalos, and he moved them up, and he put them behind a wall. But I still managed to kill everyone, all but one of them, and he flipped out. He was so mad. And he's like, "Oh, from now on, if I go second, I'm just gonna leave them in the deployment zone." Blah blah blah.
Well, you can't move your prey target right there. They're right. He could have moved them on the other side of the table.
Yeah, just run them.
He thought they'd be
Yeah,
safe
run away.
behind a little wall, but
the prey negates that almost.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much.
But he got salty, and so I vote for Mike. He's the one who was right here last time in the last podcast.
I am going to vote for McDonald's as a salt bag of the week.
McDonald's?
McDonald's. Because I got some McDonald's the other day. It was the saltiest fucking shit I ever ate. like I was like, Mama! I was like, ketchup.
You know,
Okay,
ketchup
it's
has
okay.
salt in it too.
Well, it has also sweeteners because it's McDonald's ketchup, so it's full of sugar
That's
too.
true. It's mostly sugar.
And it
like,
balanced
cardiac
the salt
arrest.
with. Hey, normally I get McGangbangs, and those are the
Those
way
are
to go.
delicious.
Oh, McGangbangs.
I don't
okay,
even know what that means.
McGangbang. You buy. Listen, internet. You take a McDouble, then you pull it apart, and then you take a McChicken, you put it in the middle, then you put it together, then you eat it.
It is delicious.
It's really good.
And
it's
science.
It's even better with a hot and spicy McChicken.
Oh.
Yeah. Dude, I'm fat. But anyway, my salt bag of the week will be McDonald's because they're fucking salty. They're the actual salt bag of the week, I'm sure.
It's literally.
Tom,
Oh.
you take a.
I nominate
take a
Mike
pass.
just because fuck Mike.
He's already nominated. So
Yeah.
Double
Double
nomination.
nomination.
I second it. There we go. I second the motion to fuck Mike.
I've had a pretty good week, so
Pretty
nothing
good week?
really.
Nothing
I mean, I got
nobody got salty.
nobody got really salty. Somebody thought I was salty last week when I was brooding over a game I lost, but that's just me trying to figure out what the hell happened.
You
How I
nominated
fucked it
yourself.
up.
So sounds like you were pretty salty.
You're nominating
Well,
yourself.
I
All
did
right.
figure out how I could have won that game without just being.
Yeah. Losing games suck.
It does.
Hindsight's
Especially losing the game
20/20.
with fucking Asphyxious.
Oh.
Epic Asphyxious. I should win every game with Epic Asphyxious
I
because
don't-
he's an asshole.
I don't think so.
Well, the amount of bitching and moaning that
Yeah.
comes out of everybody about
Epic Asphyxious.
I should win every game with Epic
like you should-
Asphyxious.
He brings back all the
Okay.
game thralls.
Yeah, for
He
a
brings
turn.
back
10 of them?
10 of small to medium based warrior or
And they
miniatures.
activate that term.
They activate as solos.
And they
that
have to
turn.
charge.
And they have to charge.
Okay.
But they're not incorporeal
They're
anymore.
not incorporeal. They're
They
ghosts.
used to be incorporeal, which was
Broken.
hilarious.
What's
You know what
broken?
was worse? Before it got nerfed that first time, they could bring back large base
bases.
models. You know what you did? You ran Soul Hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just like, but them Soul
But-
Hunters.
Soul Hunter solos.
Dude, Soul Hunters are so good. I don't understand why people don't run them. I guess because they're sticking Dark Wraith in the
Yeah.
Asphyxious list. But he makes Soul Hunters so good. It's just like, boom, gum up the lines. Next turn they go incorporeal and walk through the lines and kill stuff in the back.
So who's gonna win Salt Bag of the Week? I vote Mike. So cause fuck Mike. He was
Fuck
gonna be
Mike.
here today, but fuck Mike.
Oh, I have to move and work.
Yeah.
It's War Machine Tuesday.
It's War Machine Tuesday. What about you? Sarah's like,
Those little giggles are
so who you vote on?
Mike.
Fuck Mike.
Everybody votes Mike.
Yeah.
The end.
Fuck Mike. So any final thoughts for today?
Oh, talk about
Bolt
a
Storm.
tournament.
Oh yeah. So this weekend,
What's
May
the date?
4th,
Yeah.
May 4th, here in Asheville, we're going to be having Geek Out. Just Google it, or I'm going to put a link in the
Geek out Asheville.
Geek Out Asheville. I'll put a link in the
Description.
in the description below. But no, this will be down here somewhere.
Stay
But-
alive.
Yeah. BG's in it. But we're going to have a 2-list 50-point Tom Turn Steamroller event. We have a trophy kit for it, so it'll be kind of cool.
Trophies.
We're expecting a big turnout. But
Come watch me
if
get
you
first
can get down here to Asheville, play some games. It's like $15 to get in.
There's $10 to
It's
get in,
$10 for the
and then $5 for
and
the
then
tournament.
$5 for the tournament. But there's gonna be some cool people there.
Newbie tournament.
Yeah, we're gonna have a newbie tournament. He's gonna run.
Bring
so
your
That's
friends.
going to be
so
on
bring your
Friday.
friends. No, that'll be on Saturday as well.
That's going to be on
Yeah, we're
Saturday.
doing
Bring
2
hot
tournaments
girls
on
wearing
Saturday.
bikinis.
Yeah.
Play battle box
But-
games.
Yeah, but there's going to be
Titties
some.
and
There's
beer.
going to be a lot of cool stuff at the Geek Out too. There's going to be, of course, your traditional con, like costume contests and stuff like that.
Kruger and
Krieger.
Krieger.
God damn it.
It's
not
Krieger.
Kruger.
It's Krieger and Pam from Archer. The voice actors for them are both going to be there at the con. So
Oh, I
any
can't
Archer
wait.
fans out there,
Epic Kruger's
cannot
coming.
wait.
Epic Kruger. Fort Kickass. But yeah, we should have a good turnout, and hopefully we can pull some surrounding areas.
Yeah, I'd like to see a big.
Hopefully we have some people from GA, some Georgia, and South Carolina. I was talking
Tennessee.
to some Knoxville people.
Virginia.
Yeah.
I really wish I would have gone to that Conuga.
Yeah.
I
I
had-
wanted to.
I had
We
a bunch
really
of turns.
was thinking it was like.
We were
Why
about
didn't
to.
we? Didn't we get the day
Well,
off?
No, we just miraculously had the day off for
And
it.
then we're like, no.
Well,
I was like ready to
It
go,
was
and I was like,
little
"When are we going? When are we
Yeah.
going?" And everyone's like, "We're not going." I was,
Oh, Tom.
I can't get weekends off because
Yeah,
I work in
you-
electronics.
You have to like post like months ahead of
Yeah.
time. Usually.
I've got Gen Con off, and I'll be at Gen Con.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we will be at War Machine Weekend. I don't know how many of us, but we will be at War Machine Weekend.
Hopefully a big
I will
group.
try.
Wait,
I'd love to
Ashton?
go.
That's in
That's in St. Louis?
St. Louis
"Oh, that's not far."
in
Yeah.
November.
You got it.
Carpool.
I'll go.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So that's
We
one
need to
thing
hook up
we'll
a
be at.
trailer and get a couch and
And-
put it in the back of a
Fuck
trailer.
yeah!
Yeah.
Sure,
So we can just fucking drink all the way up there.
Rent a
Wait.
U-Haul.
We've seen
Always-
this on
always
Sunny.
sunny.
That's a bad idea.
Have a cookout, have a little grill. Smoky.
I'd like to take this second to put out thanks to Muse on Minis.
Yeah. This is super cool.
It's
Yeah, it is.
really cool for letting us, voice our opinion on y'all's site.
Also,
Completely-
I listen to
us, bitch.
every one of the podcasts.
Yeah, I do too.
So I'll hear if you guys talk shit.
And we just want to put out a big thank you from from Asheville to you guys. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah. In,
I mean,
in the
it's
words
amazing.
of the rest of the people on Muse, it's super fucking sweet.
It really is. But anyway, I think that's a wrap, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for watching episode 2 of
Killbox.
The Killbox.
Let's energy
This is
that time.
bad.
Work on it.
Anyway, thanks, guys. See you
Bye.
next time.
We'll edit that in post.